Hello, I'm Dwaine Hartman, and I have accepted the Hidden Door Challenge to speak about what my experience has been with going inside and stepping through the Eye of Horus, the hidden door within. The first experience that I had with this was when I was very young. I had experienced some difficulties in learning and difficulties in communicating, and I wanted a healing. And I wanted a healing, and I became very adamant about this healing. And in fact, I went toe-to-toe with this unseen God and read it the riot act, because I felt I deserved a healing. And it was interesting how this came about, because what was communicated to me was to draw a line in the carpet that I was in the living room, and to step across that line, to create in front of me what it was that I wanted to experience, and to step across that line. And so that's what I did. I listened to the information I was getting, and I created out in front of me who I wanted to come into, what I wanted to become, how the healing was going to happen, and I got a lot more than I bargained for. Because when I stepped across that line, I stepped into something else. I stepped through the door, and when I stepped through the door, I experienced something happening in my mind where my brain was not the limit to my knowledge, that I stepped into something what I call now is universal mind. I could know all things if I chose to. So it felt as if my brain went from this size to the universe, for one thing. The other really remarkable thing that happened was that it wasn't compartmentalized like it used to be. All of a sudden I had this delightful feeling that science, religion, and spirituality all coalesced, became one thing inside of me. And so, something scientific was also spiritual, which was also creative. So this is my first experience with it. I've had other experiences in my life, in my 20s. Another experience where I was literally driving down the road with somebody, and we were pulled out of this reality, and we went into another place, another space. In that space, there were beings there that were very, very loving beings. They would look at you, and telepathic communication was happening between the two. And they shared with me that there was a time coming of suppression, and that there needed to be people out there that were taking and sharing with people and showing people how to go through this door. And so then became my life's work of assisting people to come to this door. It's up to them to go through it, and to go through this doorway into this experience of this vastness, of this creative genius, as it were. The interesting thing that came about from these experiences is an ongoing fascination with ancient Egypt, like a drawing, a vibration. This vibration that I experience on an ongoing basis is one of clarity, one of focus. that is hard to explain to most people until they go through the door. When they go through the door, it's quite simple as to what is diversion and what is the path. And that is something that I experience on an ongoing basis, as well as, literally not living in the confinement that has been delegated to us, that we are. I don't believe that at all. In fact, when I work with people, I look through them and I see that God and that goddess within. You see, when I talk about this to people, I understand that when I look through to see the consciousness that is beyond that doorway in you, and I coax it out. I coax you through the door so that you can experience it. I really feel that from these experiences that there has been an overlay of consciousness here of something else, and that we need to pop out. We need to come into this ancient aspects of ourselves, this part of us that lives forever, this part of us that is not the eye but looks through the eye. So this is what happened to me in my life, going from just being an ordinary kid on the farm, and boom, expansion, and helping other people expand and go into that consciousness. So that's been quite a transition in it. I find that I enjoy writing poetry and to describe the sensation of going into that space so that people can feel it and catch it, right? So these are some things. It's an ongoing thing that happens. Once you step through the door, you can't go back. But it's a beautiful thing to go through that door and to start to express as the unbounded spirit that you are. I've accepted the challenge, and now I would like to challenge Lana Elko and Gail Mack to put up their story about what it's like to go through the hidden door. I'm Dwaine Hartman. Thank you very much. Bye. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale, she said. It was only then I begun to feel the deep emerging in me, in her, sinking beyond this reality, deeper than time, distance, and space, inward to a land of the forgotten truths, of the abandoned magic, to a place I remember as a child. Once upon a time, in a land deep within, where all my treasures live. I remember, I remember, I remember. Thank you.